Okay, so it's your first time cooking for Bae, and I consider a home-cooked meal the ultimate thirst trap, so we about to finesse these oxtails. Here's all the ingredients that you're going to need. I love cooking with fresh veggies, and yes, fresh vegetables are a requirement for this dish. All right, beans are optional. You're definitely gonna need a bigger can of that broth, but I ended up adding water. Seasoning that doesn't have salt, some salt and pepper, and here we go. Now, I know that you can probably just get carrots that are already cut. You can get garlic that's already minced. But once again, like, prepping your own veggies really gives your food the absolute best taste possible. So we are going to peel these carrots and chop up these onions and the tomatoes and all that, and just put that to the side after it's all prepped. So after we chop all of that up, we're going to take our pepper and we are going to peel the skin off and just cut off the skin. We're going to use the skin part as our flavoring. If you want your oxtail to be spicy, I don't know what your spice tolerance is, then you can add in those seeds. I don't want this dish to be really spicy, so I'm literally just getting the habanero pepper flavor. Now, wash your hands, and then we're gonna wash the meat. To wash the meat, I run it under warm water, and then I'm gonna take 2 lemons and cut them in half, and I'm gonna use those lemons to scrub my oxtail. This is just how I grew up learning to cook. I always clean my meat with either lemon, vinegar, definitely warm water. Limes are great for fish. Yeah. Depending on what you're cooking, but that's my go-to. All right, so now we're gonna cut off the excess fat. Depending on where you got your meat from, there might not be a lot of fat to cut off, but if there is, let's just take it all off. All right, now we're gonna mince our garlic. Add in some of that seasoning. Add as much seasoning as you want, especially if it doesn't have any salt. If you find in the end that your food is like too salty as you're cooking, you're gonna taste as you go. You're just gonna keep adding water anyways, and that'll kind of dilute it. All right, so then we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. That's what I use to brown my meat. It's not really for taste, it's more so for color. We're gonna mix all of that in. And then we're just gonna let this marinate. You can leave it overnight, or you can just leave it for a couple of hours. I definitely recommend even doing this in the morning before you go to work. So I'm using this one pot to do everything basically because I want to do as little cleaning later as possible. So I put the fire on high, and I'm literally just going to turn the meat over consistently just to like let it all get brown on all the sides. Once you've gotten your desired color, what you're gonna do is you're going to remove that oxtail and just put it in a dish to the side. And in the same oil, we're going to add our freshly chopped onions. So you're gonna add in the onions and let it caramelize a little bit and add some seasoning. All right, at this point, we still haven't added salt because salt is like the last resort for seasoning. So we're just gonna add some more of that seasoning, and then we are going to add back in the oxtail that we just took out. All right. Toss in the beef broth and make sure that your meat is covered entirely. So like I said, I needed to get another can, or you can add water, but the beef broth is the best way to go because you're just getting some of that flavor. Add in the peppers and the fresh thyme, and voila. So we're gonna cook this on low/medium, really closer to medium, for about an hour and a half. With the lid on, and check on it periodically to just add a little bit of water or a little bit more broth. The full cook time for this is going to be about 3.5 hours. So after that first hour, we are going to add some salt and some different seasoning. Now, your oxtail is really starting to take in that color and take in that flavor. Taste it as you go. If you feel like your sauce is a little bit too salty, then it's okay because we're gonna add water. So then after the 2 hours, you're going to put that fire now more so on low because you just want it to simmer for the next like hour and a half, and you're going to add the rest of those ingredients and just let it cook. Look at the color in that, like that shit looks so good. All right. And yeah. So cook on low for about an hour and a half, and voila.